Welcome to The Explainer. Right now, we are diving into literally one of the most captivating stories in world cricket. Rohit Sharma, retirement or the 2027 World Cup? The truth after his Lord's 138. Just picture it, right? The historic atmosphere of Lord's, the tension just hanging in the air, and Rohit delivering an absolute masterclass. I mean, his brilliant 138 was totally cinematic. It was this statement of pure, unadulterated dominance. But kind of ironically, instead of cementing his immediate future, that masterpiece has ignited a massive, fiery debate across the cricketing world. People aren't just talking about the runs anymore, we're all obsessing over what comes next. Which brings us right to this burning question, the central mystery we're going to unpack today. Has the Hitman actually played his final major innings on the grandest stage? The rumors are absolutely swirling, press conferences are just full of dodging, and as fans, well, we're left trying to decode the signs. So today, we are going to cut through the noise. By analyzing his recent matches, his body language, and his shifting technique, we're going to uncover the truth behind his current state of mind.
Section 1. The weight of expectations.
To really understand where Rohit is at right now, we have to take a step back and acknowledge the relentless, agonizing physical and emotional toll of the modern game. When you notice a hand pressed hard against the forehead, eyes closed tight, shoulders completely slumped forward, you realize this isn't just a guy who's a little tired after a long day in the field. This is the heavy, visible embodiment of carrying the hopes of over 1 billion people. Moments like these absolutely validate those retirement rumors, because you see that pure exhaustion and you have to wonder, how much longer can someone physically carry that kind of weight?
And that exhaustion, it really manifests in the lonely walk of a burdened captain. Even when surrounded by teammates, coaching staff, and thousands of screaming fans, in these agonizing moments of defeat or just immense pressure, he is entirely alone. It's like a heavy, unseen burden that he carries every single time he pulls that blue jersey over his shoulders.
You know, even in moments of absolute triumph in his test whites, the toll is still incredibly clear. With the helmet off, just leaning back and looking up to the sky in sheer relief rather than wild celebration, you can visibly see the physical drain that 5 days of grueling test cricket demands of a veteran player. His body language screams that he has emptied the tank completely. The physical sacrifices required to play at this elite level are, quite frankly, staggering.
Section 2. Mastering the modern game. Okay, let's dive into this. Because if you think that physical toll means he's finished, well, you're missing a massive piece of the puzzle. Actually, scratch that. You're missing the biggest piece, the bat. The bat tells a wildly different story. This is a sharp narrative pivot for his career. I mean, his current form, a staggering strike rate that somehow keeps climbing as an opener in his late 30s, and his sheer aggressive intent, they utterly contradict this whole idea that he's a fading force. When he steps up to the crease, the fatigue just vanishes and the maestro completely takes over. Now, what's really interesting about this is when you break down the anatomy of a perfect sweep shot, you see the sheer mechanical perfection. First, the flawless preparation. Eyes locked on the ball, back knee dropping perfectly into position, balance completely centralized. And then, the execution. The full extension of the arms, the bat accelerating straight through the line of the ball. This is not the technique of a player in decline, folks. This is flawless execution from a batter operating at the absolute peak of his powers.
And of course, we can't talk about Rohit without talking about his signature pull shot in full flow. The way he picks up the length a fraction of a second faster than anyone else in the world is just unparalleled. Notice how his core mechanics and hand-eye coordination make an incredibly difficult, high-risk shot look completely effortless. He pivots on a dime and dispatches express pace with total mastery. You simply do not play this shot with this level of dominance if your reflexes are slowing down. No way.
Ultimately, it all comes down to elegance and timing over brute force. Batters who rely solely on muscle and raw bat speed, they tend to age out of the game way faster. But Rohit's game is built on majestic, silky timing. He relies on redirecting the bowler's pace and finding the gaps with absolute surgical precision. Historically, this is the exact characteristic that allows truly elite batters to adapt and completely dominate well into their twilight years.
Section 3. The undeniable passion.
So we've seen the crushing physical toll, and we've seen the masterful technique. Now we have to weigh the ultimate balancing act. On one side of the scale, we have this agonizing physical exhaustion, the grueling travel, the immense weight of leadership. But on the exact opposite side, we have an unyielding mental hunger. That burning desire to win, to lead his team to ultimate glory. So the question is, which of these forces is stronger right now? And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're talking about. Down on his knees, fists clenched, roaring at the sky in pure ecstasy. This is a man who feels every single victory deep in his bones. This cinematic, unfiltered level of emotion, you cannot fake that. It proves that despite everything he's already achieved, his passion for the sport remains entirely undiminished. He clearly still wants it just as badly as he did on day one. That same passion is so obvious when he's basking in the roar of the stadium lights, taking in the applause of tens of thousands of fans under the night sky. His connection with the crowd is just magnetic. The adrenaline, the energy, the feeling of being the main character on a nation's biggest stage. This is exactly the kind of intoxicating environment that keeps a legend coming back for more, completely defying whatever physical pain he might be in.
Striding off the pitch with absolute command, bat raised high and head up. A quiet, intense confidence just radiates from him. A man completely in his zone like this looks far, far from finished. When you see him dictating the terms of the game and walking off the field with this kind of sheer authority, it becomes incredibly hard to believe he's even close to ready to call it quits.
Section 4, 2027, Dream or Reality?
So, the crucial point is, the true test for 2027 lies in the grinding reality of international cricket. Leaning on a bat at the non-striker's end while the opposition celebrates, well, that's the bitter flip side to those glorious centuries. It's dealing with fierce opposition, sudden collapses, and devastating setbacks. Making it to 2027 means surviving 3 more years of this exact kind of relentless psychological grind. The big question is, does he really want to put himself through this cycle all over again?
The most honest visual metaphor for Rohit right now? A pair of sunglasses, a wry smile, a little shrug, and an unknown future. He's clearly enjoying this incredible run of form and playing with a sense of freedom we probably haven't seen in years. But he is also very happily leaving the entire cricket world totally guessing about his long-term plans, just taking it one series, one match, and one masterful innings at a time.
So, we leave you with this final, provocative thought to ponder. You've seen the undeniable exhaustion, but you've also seen the flawless technique and that roaring passion. In the end, does the drive for one final shot at World Cup glory in 2027 really outweigh the physical and mental toll of today? The Hitman holds the cards, but after breaking it all down, what do you think? Thanks for joining us on this deep dive on The Explainer. What's your verdict? Let us know, and keep watching the pitch, because the next chapter is sure to be historic.